Pirates general manager Neil Huntington joins Steve and I in the booth now. And Neil, I'm sure there's a little bit of relief that this part of the draft is over. Now the fun part, you get to watch guys like Gerrit Cole and Josh Bell develop with the Pirates system.
Without question, we've been incredibly fortunate with the resources Bob Nutting's giving us, not only for the draft, that's the obvious one, but for the infrastructure, to bring on good people, to keep good people, to train good people. The foundation that we're in the process of putting together, obviously it becomes very public with the play of the Major League team, the amount of money that we've just invested in the draft. And yeah, we are looking forward to getting Josh and Gerrit out. They're excited to get back on the ball field. They hate being away from the game. The process is flawed. We're hopefully going to work to have that corrected between Major League Baseball and the union. But we've got two young men that are just excited to get back on the field, as well as Holmes yesterday, too, the other pick that we signed. It's going to be a fun instructional league to watch these guys grow.
Tell us a little bit about Gerrit Cole. We've been hearing about him since before the draft, but going through the process and getting to know the #1 pick a little better, what can you tell us about him?
Well, you know, Gerrit obviously has the fastball that's 93 to 100 miles an hour, 101 at times. He's got what can be a devastating changeup. He's got a slider that at times is a wipeout slider. Both off-speed pitches need to be refined. The fastball command, the effort level. He is a tremendous competitor, comes from a great family. He's very, very intelligent, and he's driven to be a successful Major League pitcher.
Gerrit Cole, UCLA Bruin, and outstanding makeup, we understand, as far as his game preparation is concerned. The statistics weren't necessarily what he was looking for, but his ability and a lot of the things, the tangibles and the intangibles, were what you liked about him, right?
Absolutely. Again, Gerrit comes from an educated family. He's from a successful family. He's driven. He wants to be great. He's got great stuff. A little bit of inconsistency this year. Wasn't the best performer in the draft, but we felt had the highest upside and the best stuff of any pitcher in the draft.
Neil, an overview of what you have done, I would think a tip of the cap to people who evaluate the talent that you're looking at and scrutinizing. That's absolutely critical. I guess you can write a big check, but it's got to be the right young man. Without
question, as Bob reminds me every so often, if not all that often, we just need to be right. And with Greg Smith, our scouting director, Joe Delacari, our assistant scouting director, our national supervisors, our regional supervisors, our area guys, they just do a tremendous job, not only of identifying the right players, picking the right players, but picking the right people. That's an important part of our process. We want quality people. We want character, guys with high characters, guys with some intelligence, some aptitude, physical and mentally, that they can make adjustments. And I can't say enough great things about our scouts. Many of them have thankless jobs. They feel like they're on an island by themselves as they run around Texas or the northern part of the country, and they wonder, are they ever going to get a player? And then you get the call that you get Gerrit Cole, or our Texas scout just did a tremendous job of staying with the Bell family and gave us the opportunity to get into the house and get to know Josh, and had followed Josh for a long time and knew that Josh wanted to be a Major League player. And we felt that we took a worthwhile risk, and it obviously paid off for us as we've added two of what we believe to be the top 6 talents in the draft this year.
Separate itineraries for these guys going forward from this point, Neil?
Yeah, what we want to do is we want to get them in here, introduce them to our media, let them see PNC Park, let them see what they're working for, allow our fans to get a taste of what makes these young men outstanding young men. And then we've got to get to learn them. They've got to get to learn us. We've got to develop that trust and build that relationship upon which we can help them become stars and help them achieve their potential and help them become what they're capable of.
It's got to be a chance for them to kind of catch their breath after the whole process before they go out and become baseball players.
Absolutely.
You got some of the Altoona guys here last night, or the Spikes guys, Stetson Alley. Do you see him even early kind of stepping forward to growing up a little bit as a professional?
You know, we've had some guys that have gone through adversity, and we would much rather they go through adversity at the minor league level, probably the earlier the better, than to have them face it for the first time up here, because sometimes it's awfully tough to recover when the first adversity you face at the major league level. We've got some young guys in Alley and Luis Herrera, in his very first taste, he'd be a junior in high school. And he's pitching in the Gulf Coast League against 18 to 23-year-olds, and they've done a nice job. Xavier fell coming out of the box.
Xavier Paul stumbled out of the box, didn't get going. Schumacher gets 1 out, and now the Pirates with 2 men in scoring position with 2 down.
Hopefully it's not like Barbaro. Yeah, he's hurting a little bit. He didn't get up and just take off again. An ankle turn. Ouch.
Xavier Paul back in the Pirate dugout. A chance now for the Bucks to get on the board, trailing 1-0. Andrew McCutchen at the plate facing Chris Carpenter.
Good to see him moving okay and not a trainer on his back right there.
Absolutely. We've had enough times where we've had 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys in the disabled list. So hopefully Xavier's going to be all right. He's been playing really well lately.
1 ball and no strikes to Andrew McCutchen. So what is going to be next for the draft class? Is there different, as Steve mentioned earlier, different itineraries for different guys, but is there something similar at the beginning for everybody who's now going to be welcomed into the Pirate family?
Well, one of the great things, one of the many great things that Pirate City having the dorm allows us to do is we will basically bring almost every new player, every drafted player that's come into the organization, whether they signed the day after the draft or whether they signed yesterday. We will bring them to Florida for instructionally, and they will get an indoctrination period on who we are, how we do things, why we do things, what we expect, and that's unquestionable.
McCutchen hammers this one. It is gone. A 3-run home run for Andrew McCutchen, his 17th. And the Pirates have jumped in front, 3-1.
And Neil, with all this talk about the future, that's a pretty good look at the present. that's a fun one.
Absolutely. I mean, Andrew and Walk have had their ups and downs this year, and that's the exciting part for us. It's not to take away from anything from any of the veteran players. We've got some guys who are really having nice years. The core of our production has come from our young players, and they're going to be the core of our future as we go forward. We'll look to add to it via trades. We'll look to add to it via free agency, but there is a very nice young core in place here that as they grow, as they develop, as they mature, some really good things are happening. And
a good feeder system on the way, and that's got to be as important as anything.
Without question. We saw firsthand the depth, the Darnos, the Presleys, the Harrisons, the guys that came up through our system and held their own. Maybe not too many guys excelled. Alex obviously had a great start, but for the most part they came up, they held their own, they kept us on course. We eventually we ran out. You know, at some point in time you run out of options in AAA. We've got some other guys in AAA that are on track. We've got some young guys that haven't had an opportunity. We've got a good group in AA, a very good group in A-ball at the 2 levels, and then obviously this year's draft class. So there's a good group coming, and also a very nice group up here. Clint and his staff continue to do a great job, and can't say enough great things about the people we work with.
Can't thank you enough for spending time with us, Neil.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Neil.